today we're just going to have a quick look at some of the items and photographs from yesterday. Feels so long ago because it was quite a long drive, but yesterday was the I would say biannual. Does that mean every 2 years? Or is that every 6 months? But every 2 year convention that is run by Team Blake, otherwise known as the guys from Maximum Power, and it's a little small convention, very old school in the best possible way, and it's held in Steventon in Abingdon, Oxfordshire, which is my old stomping ground. In fact, the hall that they use, I used to go there as a youth to jumble sales, and this hall still has the same smell of sort of slight damp, mildew, and old ladies, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's an amazing place. A very, very small venue to look at, but so much is packed into it. It's sort of the anti-TARDIS. It's much smaller on the inside. But yeah, so it's every 2 years. Last one was 2 years ago. I think it used to be every year, but then COVID hit, and it's so much effort that the guys put into that run it. That you got to allow them a year off, which I'm sure they don't take off anyway. They just use it to plan the next one. But yeah, so myself and Eric, my co-host on the Blake 7 in Character podcast, as well as many others, and my best friend. He's like a brother to me. We've known each other for years. We're basically two minds with a single brain cell between them. But yeah, so we decided to go, and Eric goes every year to what you call Troop. If anyone's not been to conventions, they won't know. So basically, he belongs to I think it's the UK Garrison, and they have costumes that are like 100% screen accurate, built same materials. There's very, very strict rules on it, and what they do is, if you're a convention, you can arrange to have them come and basically go about. It's like stormtroopers, things like that, and they do the Federation Trooper. I'll put a photo in here, and it's just always a highlight of the convention. It's just amazing to see people's faces light up and straight into broad grins and big smiles when they see these evil fascist thugs that are dressed up as Federation troopers. And it's wonderful, and I helped out a couple of years. I'm not officially one of them, but they've welcomed me into their little dungeon of doom changing room, because I usually take quite a few costumes to these things, and it's just great fun helping them and making sure they don't pass out, etc. And this year was no exception. So Eric always goes and troops, and we always try and get a little bit of footage and interviewing done for the Blake 7 in Character podcast, which will be available soon, as soon as Eric's edited it. We've managed to record quite a few interviews, and this year we arranged with a couple of our listeners to meet up the night before and have a little meal out, a little drinky, good old chinwag. And this year we had the lovely Lynn and the wonderful Nick. Don't ask him about Jimmy Savile. The wonderful Nick, and two new friends made. Wonderful people, lovely stories, terrible service in the restaurant, but it was a fun night. So we went to the convention the next day, and it was the usual sort of mix of being incredibly hot and sweaty, because it's always a lovely day weather-wise, and a mix of sort of presentations, celebrities, autograph sessions, photo sessions, chin-wagging. And it's always wonderful. It's my favourite ever convention, and this year's I think was my favourite ever one of theirs. Everything seemed to go right, and this was especially sort of poignant this year because one of the the team that created these conventions sadly died. Gary Holland, who was pretty much the preserver of Blake 7 costumes. He had, I think, the world's largest Blake 7 costume collection, which he looked after and would bring to these events. And he sadly passed away a week or so before, and the team pulled together, rather than cancel the convention, because Gary wouldn't have wanted that, pulled together and just made a marvellous day of it. I got to salute them for that. But yeah, so for me it was a bit of a highlight as well, because one of the Blake 7 casts I've never met and I always have is Brian Croucher. Always wanted to meet is Brian Croucher, who played Travis Mark II, my favourite Travis. Although this is Stephen Greif, who again he sadly passed last year, and so the convention was partly in his honour. But on a personal level, I just love Brian's portrayal of Travis Mark II, and I've always wanted to meet him, and I finally got to meet him, and he was an absolutely sterling chap, and wonderful. I went dressed as Travis, and was very kindly offered to parade with the guys in welcoming or I suppose escorting the guests, and I'll put photos up. If you don't see any photos, I've completely forgotten that bit, so apologies, but I'll try and put photos up as I'm talking about it. I'm still in a bit of a daze. It's the day after and my brain is still mush. But yeah, so I got to meet some wonderful people, and I'll go through the bits and bobs I got. So obviously I met the lovely Brian, and got a nice little signature on it. I got him also to sign my program guide, which I've been taking to all of the conventions they run, so it's getting quite nicely full of different autographs. So like Michael Keaton, Jan Chappelle, Sally Nivette, Stephen Pacey, and Stephen Greif. So starting to come together. It's one of my treasured possessions. So saw Brian. He very graciously let me have my photo taken with him, which I'll put here, which I think is now one of my most prized photos. And my Travis costume didn't survive the event. It is now sadly gone. It fell apart. The pleather that it was made from self-destructed during the day. I was leaving a trail of destruction of little bits of pleather costume, but luckily I took some other costumes, so got to meet Brian. Obviously the wonderful Matt Irvin was there. He was staying in the same hotel that we were, so we had the pleasure of seeing him first thing in the morning, pre-breakfast, looking for his coffee. He's a treasure, always full of wonderful stories. So I had to get another signature. I've got his signature several times, but I try and get it every time I see him at a convention, because he's just an absolute star. Nick Joseph was there. Nick played a couple of parts on Blake 7. He played the Muller android headless version, so memorably. He also played Og in Animals, which some people like. It was no offense to Nick. It wasn't. He played it very well, but not my favourite episode. So I got a nice signature there. And then also Sasha Mitchell was there, and she played Arlen in the final episode of Blake. She was the person solely responsible for betraying Blake to the Federation, and Avon got them all killed, but is a lovely lady, and she was a highlight of the con for me. She was so nice, and she asked if she could have a photo taken with the guards, which I was happy to mediate and arrange. But yeah, she was just absolutely lovely. I managed to recreate the costume from Blake, and I did that because my friend Eric, he was making a blaster that appeared in the final episode, and he was scratch building it from all the same materials that we used for the original and donated it to the auction. It did very well, raised some good money, but and then he show what a, pardon me, show what a great chap he is. He then gave me a version of the blaster as well. This was one he had made before. This is his own personal weapon, and he gave it to me, which is just amazing. I said I'll be custodian of it. If he ever wants it back, he ever needs it, it'll be in pride of place in my modelling room. But it's just wonderful. Look at it, the level of craftsmanship he puts into these. Not like my fly-by-night weapon builds, as you've seen. I usually make mine as a prop, but this is really solid. It's made from like a Star Wars blaster, and they do various things like turn the barrels around and add bits. It's amazing, really solid as well. And everyone said really nice things about it. I was carrying it about, taking all the credit, of course. I said I made that. That's mine, not Eric at all. Sorry, Eric. And that brings me on to, I'll go through some more stuff in a second, but that does bring me on to, so as you've seen, if you follow my channel, and if you don't follow my channel, why not? Subscribe. 80% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So please subscribe. And like, and do all the other rubbish that you're meant to do for YouTube channels. So yeah, I'd made a little diorama of Blake from season 1 with the Liberator. And I did one 2 years ago, and it went to a lovely chap who paid a mad amount of 240 quid for it. I think I put a video up last year showing it, so you can go and have a look for that. I'll try and put the link in. So I did one this year because I thought I want to help these guys out however I can. It's always for a good charity. This year it was an Alzheimer's charity, and if it can add a few quid in, then happy to do it. So I made the model, and it came up to the auction, and I'll put some clips in here. Have a look.
Characters. This one happens to be Blake himself, and it's an incredibly gorgeous diorama that will bring it around with the Liberator flying high above a white metal, fully painted figure of Blake. It's really gorgeous, and it's really kind of you to make that. So I'm just going to hand it around to you to get a closer look. This is a one-off, is it? Is it one-off?
Yeah, it's a one-off.
Okay, so little Liberator Blake in a glass dome, unique. What should we start this at? 30 quid? Should we start with 30? 50. 50, there we go, 50. Anyone else 50? 60 at the front. 70 at the back. 70, 70, 80 in the corner. Any advance on 80? 90. Thank you. Any advance on 90? 100. Well done, thank you. 110 already, there we go. Any advance on 110? 150 at the back. 150. 160. Any advance on 160? Oh yeah, 170. Any advance on 170? Go, oh, 180. Come on, let's make it, yeah. 200. Amazing. Any increase on 200? 210 at the back. 210. 220. Anyone tempted? 220. What? 260. A new entrant to the race. 260. I think you were just in there. 270. 280. Thank you. 280. 280. Can we get into 300? 300. Well done. 300. Thank you. Any increase to 300? 310. 310. 310. Thank you. Any increase on 310? 320? Are we hearing 320? 320. No, going once. 350. Ooh, not messing. Right, 350. Any increase on 350? Going one. Oh, 360. I assume you want 360. Yeah. Any increase on 360? 360. 375. Okay. 375. No, are you shaking your head, or is it? You sure? You sure? 375. Anyone else want to jump in? Going once. Going twice. 375. Thank you.
And you can see it went for the staggering sum of £375. I was almost in tears. I was so humbled. I was going to try and meet the person that bought it, but I got waylaid by something else. But thank you, if you are watching this, thank you. Your money's going to a good charity, and I hope you're happy with your figure. I think you're possibly mad, but well done. So that was a real highlight as well. So all the highlights so far. So lovely meal, meeting Brian, meeting Sasha, the auction, getting this wonderful gun from Eric, and I got a few other bits. So my trusty old Blake 7 annual. So I had Stephen Pacey sign it last time, who is just a wonderful guy. I love Stephen. He is such a nice man. Jan Chappelle signed it this time. Lovely Jan. It was her birthday a little while back. I think about 3 days ago, or I'll say 4 days. So gradually getting that added to. And then the guys from Colt Edge, who do some absolutely stonking Blake 7 publications, they did the production diary that I did a video for. It's just go and buy the book, it's amazing. But they did a series of art cards that they were raising money for charity, and I had to get them because the artwork is just astonishing. This one, I love this one. So this is from Children of Auron, depending on who says it in the episode. And I love this sort of stylized artwork. Look, it's Ginka the Stinker. They did this poster of Dorian in a wonderfully heroic pose. That'd be a costume to do, because if he got dirty, you wouldn't worry. So that, again, wonderful poster. This Soviet style, presumably like join the Federation recruiting poster. Would you follow Silverland? Probably anyway. I put an A3 print of some Ian Kennedy artwork, which is just, I love Ian Kennedy's artwork, it's amazing. So I had to pick all them up. I'm just running out of room here, this is mad. I ended up entering the costume competition. I didn't realise I'd entered it because I was helping to organise the cosplayers, some absolutely amazing cosplayers. I'll pop a picture on here. And so I was helping there, and they got the lovely June Hudson, who designed all the original Blake 7 costumes. Very, very talented lady. She was in Doctor Who recently. It puts me to shame. She's got so much energy. I haven't. So she came out to judge, and she just pointed at me and said, "Third prize winner." So I'm not going to argue with June, so I got a lovely little signed art card showing the original design of the Avon. I think it's the blue leather one. So that was just that was amazing. I also got I think it's some Blake 7 cards. I'll have to have a look at them. Actually, I've not even opened them yet. Not had time. And a lovely novel, hardback novel. So that was, again, another highlight. And then they also they're doing the next edition of the Blake 7 magazine. Again, it's their issue 1, it's not issue 1, they've numbered it after the old ones. Is available at the moment, well worth getting, it's such a good read. And then they're doing issue 2, and it's going to be looking at the beginning, you know, the VHS compilation tapes, which was pretty much where I think a lot of people came back to Blake 7 with. And they're also doing the Series B, where there's a great debate on the meal out of whether it's Series B, Series C, or Season 2, Season 3, whatever you want, call it what you want, it's all good stuff. So that's going to be the cover of the new book. And a very nice gentleman was wandering about and gave me some postcards from, I think, some audio plays, which I think are going to be free to download on the website. Caldor City, there's the website. I'll hold on it. So pop along there and download them, and it's got the original cast members from Blake 7. So this is Premature Burial. I loved its artwork. I thought it was Charles Adler to start with, but it's really good. Scars. Gothic. I love stylized artwork, and Travis Mark II. Prelude. Yeah, pop along to Caldor City. Tell them I sent them. Ian and Eric sent them. Yeah, so it was just a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Well, one day really, but we made our own fun on the day before. Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone that made it memorable. Obviously the Team Blake team. Should have thought about saying Just wonderful. Andy just welcomed us with open arms. He's great. He's just deserves so much credit. And Sheila, and yeah, Lynn and Nick for being so welcoming as well. They made it very memorable. The Federation Guards, Eric's little troop, just they're great. Such fun guys. All the guests, Brian Croucher especially. Hopefully Stephen Pacey made it home because Eric was giving him directions. Bearing in mind Eric doesn't even own a sat nav, has no idea about directions, so hopefully he got home. And roll on to the next one, be it in a year, 2 years, whenever. I'll be there. With the last strength I've got, I'll be there and I'll help out and do what I can, because it's brilliant. It's a wonderful endeavour. But yeah, thanks for watching this. It was a bit rambly. My brain is mush. I'll try and get this edited and up today, Monday. But thanks everyone, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks then. Bye.